sun had set in Kalimport, and revelry was in the evening air. Well, at least for those in the higher-ups of the chain who had been invited to the celebration that was happening at the palace with the arrival of the daughter of Tiamat and her horde of wyvern riders. For the rest of the streets, however, something else was floating through those streets. Was it nerves? Possibly. Change? Definitely. Even as you walk through the busy streets toward the dock wards, you see people's eyes occasionally glance up at the palace, where the shifting wyverns on the rooftops looked like odd scaly birds whose necks craned occasionally to look around the city. As you pulled your sandy cloak around you, Naja, describe yourself and where you are headed this particular evening.
Naja is an androgynous-looking tiefling with short, dark hair. She's got grayish, sandy-colored skin. She is only about 5 feet tall, but her horns, which are like those of the Meridian orcs, add an extra foot to her height. She's got a nose ring on the right side, which connects up to a right horn ring, and a cut that cleaves her left eyebrow in two that fades up into her hairline. Tonight I'm headed to the Stumble Down to have a quick drink and listen in to the talk about our city's new guests. Get a feel for how the city is reacting to them.
All right. As you open the door and to the tavern, you see that there is already a decent-sized amount of people on the inside. You head over to the barkeep, one of your usual friends and contacts. He sees you coming in, kind of nods in your direction, and then smiles.
Ah, Naja. One of your usual potions, I'm assuming?
Did you get any more of that ruby nonsense you have on reserve?
You know it. That old cur was a bitch to deal with this time around, though. But that's not unusual, I guess.
You take a sip of the glass that he pours for you. It's something minty and very strong. You set some coins on the table after you take that quick gulp and lean in for the customary kiss on the cheek. When he does so, however, there is a tension that you feel, and he whispers quickly in your ear.
Hey, you might want to stick close to the family tonight. There's something going on. Nubis sent a warning from the Undercity. The bones read ill omens tonight.
He pulls back and smiles broadly.
I'm going to tap my knuckles twice on the counter to indicate that I understand. I'm going to finish my drink with one burning swig. Keep an eye on the tide tonight, Talbari.
He nods. And you head out. As you leave the tavern and go back on the streets, you head towards the warehouse where your family calls home. The streets are becoming a little thinned out now. Less people moving about as, though they can almost sense there's something wrong, there's some danger. And for a minute, your guard goes up, your defenses rise. And then your heart leaps out of its chest as the first burst of fireworks light across the city and the skyscape around you. You can hear a couple of oohs and ahs as some of the people who are walking stop and look up. Even with all the princes and most of the guards' attention focused around the palace grounds, it doesn't change the tension that's in the streets. Tension that at any moment the knife's edge the city lives on would slip and death would follow. Unknown to you at the time, that is exactly what happened. A few quiet hours have passed since you have arrived at the Aishar's warehouse. And that's when you hear the loud banging on the door. Bum, 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 bum. And then it happens again. Bum, 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 bum. And that's when it busts open.
I'm going to bring my buckler off my back and pull out my scimitar. Sala's watching the entrance tonight. He should have notified us if anything's out of the ordinary, but he hasn't. And we weren't expecting anyone. Those of us who are skilled at fighting make our way towards the door while the rest quickly try to cover the goods in the back.
The soldiers enter the room. But these are not the soldiers from the city, and they're definitely not familiar to you. These are foreign soldiers. That's odd.
By order of the Queen Mother, we are seizing the docks for her infernal majesty.
Hilato.
Sheikh Navadek Madeka. Gorkazistua.
The dock workers, as they like to be during the day, are quick to react, calling their bluff, telling them to piss off. Bardoom is the one who pushes first, though, and is the first to feel the fiery wrath that follows. With an outstretched hand, one of the guards flicks something towards him, and Bardoom suddenly bursts into flames, and before he explodes across the room. And it's after that everything becomes a blur. What do you do, Naja? Do you run? Do you hide? Or do you fight?
Of course I fight. The Ayrshire clan hasn't gotten where it is without fighting for what's ours. So what if this is a little stranger than typical clan-on-clan violence? This is ours and we'll make sure it stays that way.
Before long, the warehouse is ablaze, and you are one of the only ones left breathing. Even as you fall to your hands and knees, smoke choking your lungs, it seems that even your infernal blood in your veins is not enough to stall this death. You can feel the heat burning around you, the fire crackling above you, and the building is on the verge of collapse. There's nowhere left to run. And you hope that maybe some of the younger ones of the family managed to get out during the chaos. Maybe they would be more lucky than you. And that's when you hear it. A burst of stone, something exploding, and then a tunnel of wind that blows the smoke off on either side. Whoosh! Your hair tosses around you from the sudden blast, and in that clear moment from the smoke, you see a hooded figure, someone cloaked, there at the entrance of the wall that now has a door in it. A man with his hands extended. A thief, no doubt. Here to see what they can salvage from the wreckage, probably. What do?
Try to draw inside what little energy I've got left to see if I can summon one last spell.
Whoa. At ease. I'm here to rescue, not to pillage. He rushes over to you. The man, human it looked like from the quick glance you saw. He places a hand on yours, and you see the air ripple around his. Almost arcane, but not the kind of arcane you're used to seeing or have ever seen before. You feel whatever healing power he has given you renew you with a new burst of energy, a second wind. And then There among the crackling fires, you hear the cracking of timbers, the heavy sound of the beams above you starting to collapse inward, and you almost roll your eyes. Of course. After all of this, the healing is wasted, and as you both are crushed by the remnants of what place you had called your home. But as you wait for the crushing, nothing happens, and you instead feel less heat. You open your eyes to see those same strands of whatever this man has form a dome around you, protecting you from the debris that had fallen around to the side. It shields you from the smoke and the fire. What do you do?
Don't understand what he wants. Nothing in Kalimport comes without a price, and this is far greater than what I would ever want to pay. What will he want when this fight is over?
As your eyes kind of grow heavy, he helps you, lifts you to your feet, and you finally get a better glimpse of this alleged do-gooder. He seems to be handsome enough for a human, with a single deep scar running across his cheek. Let's get a move on, shall we? You may call me Gaius. And with a grimace of pain, you and this Gaius make it out of the collapsing warehouse and into the dark of a night that is filling the city with turmoil. This is going to be interesting.